Hi there. If you're an HR manager responsible for training decisions across the GCC, this webinar will change the way your organization approaches leadership development, because we're bringing you a powerful opportunity, getting your team fully engaged and certified through a prestigious Harvard Leadership Program in just 4 days. But this isn't just another training certificate. It's a fully tailored training method for people-forward management development, built specifically for the evolving needs of the GCC, and that's something most training companies just can't do. Why now? Well, because over the past year, the pace of change in our region has accelerated hugely. As reported in Forbes recently, traditional training just can't keep up. So here's what we'll unpack today. What shifted and why this new training approach is the future. How to eliminate the guesswork in HR decision making. And I'll show you a proven method to boost engagement that gets rave reviews and delivers real, obvious return on investment. This isn't just theory though. We've spent decades refining this through hands-on expertise and doctoral research across the region. It's designed for a changing workforce, and it's built around real challenges that your team face every day. Come on, let's be honest. How many staff development methods truly excite employees and make them want to go back and apply what they've learned? And that's exactly why we've developed this future-forward framework. Today, you'll learn how to select the right coach facilitator, someone who ensures your team is inspired, fully engaged and ready to implement what they learn to meet your Vision 2030 objectives. This isn't just another training session. It's a smarter, more effective way to develop your people, creating a real buzz in the room. And I'm going to show you the powerful impact that our 3-step framework generates, ensuring your HR team and your boss, and even your boss's boss, are recognized for driving real results. Our approach consistently transforms staff development into something dynamic and effective. And today we're diving into that essential shift. It's not generic training. It's a dynamic new method, and it works. Just ask Dr. Lowa. She completed one of our Harvard leadership programs, and she called it exceptional. She was so inspired, she asked to join our team. And so now she helps to scale this innovation across the GCC. Your goal is to arrange staff development that truly hits the spot, that engages and excites, training they'll appreciate and find genuinely valuable for themselves. Now imagine your staff returning from training so very proud of their Harvard certificate and also equipped with practical leadership tools they can actually apply immediately. That's how you set a new benchmark for excellence, just like Aramco, Saab, Najm, Zain, Haddon, ITHRA. Forget long lectures and boring PowerPoints and too many impossible learning outcomes. Think instead interactive design thinking, real-time problem solving, and high-impact peer coaching. Our participants say, the course is perfect, it's very interactive. The experience has been truly transformative. The course was amazing, it was really insightful and will help me steer my career going forwards. If you're watching this now, you might feel like you're driving through fog, maybe unsure of the best path forward, with a stack of proposals on your desk and curriculum outlines in your email. You've been pulled in so many different directions. Tighter budgets, ever-shifting priorities, traditional training often leads to that dreaded same old feedback. Different managers asking for different topics, shifting priorities and confusing messages from upstairs. Even finding dates when we can get everyone together in the same room is almost impossible now. Everybody seems to be running in different directions, don't they? 3 insights you're going to learn from today. How to identify a trustworthy partner who understands your evolving needs. How to implement a flexible region-specific learning method designed for full engagement. how to begin innovative training operations that provide a clear return on investment, making your team look highly professional and future ready. Now, let's explore a method that transforms long lectures into short, high-impact sessions. Imagine your team together, leveraging their, let's say, 100+ years of collective knowledge and experiences, using their networking and special brainstorming solutions in real time, and immediately wanting to apply these new hacks to solve long-standing issues back at their offices. Now, this is a gentle warning here, because once you experience this new way of working, there's no turning back, which is kind of a good thing. Picture this: a national telecoms company group coming together from across Saudi Arabia for the first time for leadership training in Riyadh. And in our initial discussions in that first hour, they discovered they were all facing the same invoicing problem every day. Facilitated by our design thinking techniques, they solved this 4-year legacy issue by the afternoon, demonstrating the huge power of coaching their networked, collaborative, real-time problem solving. This is about coaching with your teams, creating an open dialogue, real engagement, and meaningful results. Now, our feedback results are not average for the GCC, and your groups could vary from these. But imagine all of this without the confusing indecision between all of these training companies and their huge marketing promises, without worrying about receiving that dreaded same old feedback, without needing to worry about the lack of engagement and complaints of boredom, without the uncertainty of whether topics chosen 6 months ago still align with your staff's real day-to-day needs, without the trainer thinking that their experience is relevant to the here and the now and talking at the staff for a week. They should be all discussing and sharing ideas, all engaged, with the freedom and confidence to speak openly, to find solutions and support each other. So who am I? I'm Lawrence Brown, and over the past decade or so, as Director of Learning at Saudi Aramco, we've witnessed huge shifts in staff expectations across the region. I know the pressure to show impact, and I've seen what doesn't work anymore, and that's why we've created something that does, built right here for this region for now. This isn't training for the sake of it. It's a smarter way forward, shorter, sharper, more flexible, less theory, more coaching for new solutions, and each session followed through with visible outcomes. So why the need for this transformation now? Because here's the truth. The speed of change today is the slowest it will ever be again. And if you're not adapting, you're falling behind. And in today's fast-moving environment, you need a trusted partner who gets your challenges and delivers. We've co-constructed a new way of working together that moves away from preset PowerPoints and into agile and innovative real-world learning. This approach ensures that your staff not only learn, but want to go back to the office and implement new solutions that drive lasting change. And our structured follow-up, if you need it, ensures that solutions are implemented immediately. Companies like Aramco, Najm, and others have seen their teams return to work energized with improved morale and measurable outcomes. This isn't just training, it's a transformation that spreads throughout your organization. Now, who is this webinar for? This session is for those of you ready to embrace a flipped, modern training approach that energizes staff and drives measurable results. It's not for you if you're content with generic, outdated methods that fail to address daily challenges, if you don't care about truly valuable takeaways, if you don't feel the need for group networking activities and active peer support, if you just want to get this done for another year, just tick the box. If you don't think that your senior management need to discover the awesome power of their department's collective human capital, so ask yourself, Are you ready to ditch the tick box approach? Do you want to create a real buzz, high engagement, peer support, and actionable insights? Are you ready to unlock your team's potential and create lasting transformation? If yes, then this webinar and the training behind it is for you. It's time to step out of the fog and into this brighter, more energized future. So come on, let's do this together. So here are the 3 steps we're going to cover today. Step number 1, the 6 biggest mistakes that separates that buzz of full engagement and real return on investment from that same old. Step number 2, the only future-ready approach that excites and energizes staff to network, debate solutions, and thrive in a new supportive community. Step number 3, where picking the trusted coaching approach can be the difference between an HR team that is respected and valued and one that, well, simply isn't. Okay. Mistake number 1. Recontracting last year's company feels like the easiest option. Time's running out, and we have to still decide which one to choose, don't we? Too hesitant to make the final decision because I'm just unsure how to justify it to the management. Then all you get is more of the same old, tired training as last year. Same approach, same outcomes, probably with less enthusiasm. Mistake number 2. Let's choose the company that promises the most outcomes. Trust their sales pitch with their statistics are great. We should just go with the biggest company, the one that's everywhere doing everything and promising the world. Really? I've seen off-the-shelf PowerPoints sold to companies like yours with up to 80 training points and learning outcomes crammed into 3 days because it looks good on paper. How are your staff supposed to remember any of that and actually apply it? What is it you're trying to achieve? Do you really want to confuse them by skimming the surface of the learning? Or do you want to do a deep dive into the areas that really matter? And here's the good news. We're going to discuss this a bit further on in the training. Mistake number 3. The staff don't expect any more than last year. I mean, it's just a tick box exercise for the annual performance review, right? And no one checks the return on investment anyway. What? That's awful. Why is your return on investment so low or even non-existent? Because preset training topics often don't resonate with your staff. So they tune out within minutes, checking their messages while stressing over unresolved issues, worrying about the mounting problems in their office, They wait for the breaks, they rush out, phone in hand, to deal with what's going on back in the office. They're not fully present. They're not focused because they don't see the value. No one's asking them, listening to them, or engaging them in the realities of the moment. They sit back, they let the training pass them by, and they collect their certificates with a polite smile. Right? I clearly remember the day I realised I just couldn't be that PowerPoint monkey anymore. When I saw this happening in September of 22 in Riyadh, with 10 senior managers in the room for 3 days, 5 of them messaging at the same time, all more concerned about the craziness in their offices than the topics I'd been told to present to them. So I stopped and I looked up and I asked, what can I do to help you the most today? And they said, this is the first time we've all been together in one room. Please, give us free time to discuss a major problem we've got and help us solve it. So with these traditional pre-arranged training points and PowerPoints, where's the immediate need? Where's the coaching and the facilitation? Where's the individual attention? Where's the follow-up support? So what's the point? And the good news is we're going to expand on this point a bit later in the webinar. Mistake number 4. They spend so much on their marketing, they must be the best company, right? They send emails and call every week asking us to choose them. They're very engaged with us and they're constantly calling. We see them advertising everywhere, so they must have had so many clients with a huge range of presentations ready to go. They're expensive, but surely they're the safest bet. Yeah? Why do they advertise so much? Why not just rely on their reputation and word of mouth? Tell me, is it really about a glossy brochure and a huge range of preset topics? Mistake number 5. We need more of the management theories. These companies push theory and leadership models from the US and Europe, expecting staff to learn why their leaders were so great. It ticks the boxes. Yeah. The nationals I've worked with over this past decade or so have told me many times the main reason they quit and leave is because they find training ineffective and not useful. They will quit and go to another company because of a lack of choice, being told what topics they will receive this year. Mistake number 6. Trainers often share their whole life story, their career experiences, and maybe that's what the staff need to learn from, hearing about what worked for them. Is it relevant now for your specific cultural and specific issues? Surely, what worked 20 years ago in the US may not be useful to us now, especially as we rapidly move forward to Vision 2030. Their career experience is a world away from yours in the here and the now, generationally, geographically, technically. Wouldn't it be nice to be asked the right questions and listened to for a change? Well, I'm here to tell you there is a new way of working. I've been practicing this new way of working for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years across the GCC in Asia. It's changed probably 5-6 times in the last 10 or 15 years. I'm sharing it through conferences and social media and the press. The only issue here is that it feels like we're about 10 years behind the times. Honestly, yeah. And this brings us to the second main training point, to look at the only real approach to staff development that excites and invigorates your staff to love their new and relevant training, that new facilitation method. The only approach to staff development that truly excites and invigorates staff to love their new and relevant training. Because we all know, don't we, just how distant requested training topics can be, so far away from the current needs of the attendees, who are usually not asked for their opinions. What's going on in their heads is not what's being said in the room. What's being said in the room is not what's going on in their heads. Most of the training you've been in yourselves will be presented by trainers who've been given what training companies have sold the client. They open up their PowerPoint and they talk at the group for hours, for days, probably with the occasional interaction, maybe if they haven't already lost the staff's attention. I remember in Dammam last year was the first time I saw staff asleep in these set topic presentations. Seriously, 2 guys sitting together doing their best to stay awake and failing. This week-long program was at a well-known hospital, and this was the first for me. I'd never seen this happen before, so I sat with them both and we had a chat as to why they couldn't engage. You'll never guess, amazingly, they were both on night shifts in the hospital that week, and then they had to come straight into my training room at 8:30, stay there until 4, and then go back onto a night shift. What? Is that any way to conduct positive and motivational communities of learning? No, that's staff abuse. Complete tick box training. Whew. I'm sure you've been in training like that before. The only real result is turning off staff from any formalised training at all, and then wondering if they'd be better off with another company. Unbelievable. I was with another group last year when it became obvious on the first day that 2 of the staff were actively involved in a work-related argument, a dispute. They even brought their laptops in and the argument continued in the room each day and continued while I was trying to train through the set topics for the rest of the group. And that too was a first for me. But you know what? It shows how urgent it is to train with more agility in the moment. A total waste of time and money for everybody involved. And why? Because the trainings we were told we needed was definitely not what was needed that week. And in my 20 years of learning and development experience across this region, I've recognised the need to adapt my style at least 4 or 5 times, as I've said, to change the way we work. And I would say 80% of training costs are a total waste of money in real terms. The costs and trainers' fees, the staff salaries, hotels, travel, lost productivity. More importantly, trainings that are not seen as important or necessary result in the decrease in staff morale and the lower company retention rates. This new facilitation training framework instantly changes the dynamic from those first few minutes, focusing on discovering the priority needs in that present moment. If we can take away their pain and offer them stimulating, realistic debates they passionately want to be involved with, as well as with the top tier certification they're going to get, they're going to love their training, and your good selves are going to be so much more appreciated as training managers. This fully agile, in-the-moment learning and development works alongside your groups or in one-to-one leadership coaching. I've even done it very successfully for a week with the International ICALS examination program. It's the most effective and time-efficient way to co-create a practical and relevant curriculum. So the training group can be guided to adapt to changing needs as the facilitator reads the mood and the emotions in the room or online. And this allows for immediate shifts in direction and asking insightful questions, drawing on, let's say, that 150 years of professional experience that's already in the room. The Harvard Executive Leadership Program, for example, allows a new way of working for full engagement within their highly relevant leadership learning objectives. From that very first hour of the session, networked learning communities are formed within your departments. The facilitator stays after the session to help anybody who wants confidential coaching support, and invariably, every day that we do this, people do stay. The biggest questions I get asked, for example, is how do we deal with AI? The senior leadership team generally don't know how impactful or positive outcomes of accepting and guiding AI integrations can be or will be. So senior decision makers are tending to look the other way, but time's passing, and ChatGPT, for example, is quietly being used daily by your younger staff, much to the concern of your SLT team, your senior leadership team. This is a technological shift that's been placing further communication barriers and frustrations, which you've seen, between the 3 generations in the company now. It's a huge consideration that needs to be addressed. This past year has clearly shown the lack of engagement which there's been widening this expectation gap between senior staff and the professional staff. Inevitably, this elephant in the room emerges, the gap between senior management expectations and those of the younger professionals. Our approach fosters open dialogue where everyone shares experiences and seeks solutions rather than enduring hours of one-way lecturing. And this must be foremost in our minds as we move into the next couple of years. This unique 3-step method is more important long-term, believe it or not, than the actual training topics when it comes to building engagement and enjoyment, because this method is all about new ways of working. During facilitated open discussion, priority issues are often brought up, usually revealing a common problem across departments. So, for example, here's a light bulb moment for you. It was October 23. I was working with an oil company where employees spread across locations hundreds of kilometers apart in the desert came together for the very first time for 3 days with myself. So, using our facilitation approach, we unlocked over 200 years of combined operational experience in the room to solve a pressing challenge they all had and we solved it the same day. We then role-played their solutions as a presentation to the VP, and by the end, they asked me not to share any details outside the room. They were planning to present it to the VP themselves the following week, which they did. And that solution was implemented to improve safety, increase productivity, and save money. More importantly, it made their day-to-day and national communications easier. It's crucial, so important for your HR teams and your staff moving forwards that we need to disrupt this negative old legacy patterns, as staff have become disenchanted, really fed up with the outdated expectations of training and how it should be delivered. The more experienced staff have come to accept that the training is necessary but not useful, and your younger professional staff are generally now pushing back, just refusing to engage with traditional training methods that they don't feel is relevant. This generational mismatch of expectations is now a huge consideration. If they're not fully engaged and in discussions throughout, then they now push back. And like, for example, in the autumn of 2016, I ran an anonymous confidential survey amongst over 100 young professionals in one huge company, in which they clearly showed, believe it or not, 60% of them were always on the lookout for a new position in another company where they would be listened to, where their opinions mattered, where their learning development topics were pretty much their own decision. Training can no longer be a meaningless tick box exercise followed by the usual polite, "Oh, thank you, yeah, we learnt a lot." Let's be honest, you didn't. You're just being polite because that's what's expected. So, rather than sitting through more training that adds little real value, we gain far more by shortening the duration and shifting to a coaching-based approach. Facilitated problem-solving sessions allow your staff to engage, collaborate, co-create, and you know what? Enjoy their networking and walk away with practical, immediate, applicable solutions. Now, it may seem unimaginable that your staff will come back to the office after training excited, with their morale boosted, wanting to arrange their own training meetings with their direct reports and colleagues to spread the good word across their department and their sister department. They want to share the new tricks and hacks they've learned for immediate, useful, actionable outcomes. So, what's unique in our approach? Well, what truly sets this method apart is how we approach learning, the difference between another dull, repetitive session or a dynamic, engaging, inclusive learning environment, and it lies in our coach-facilitated model. This approach transforms training from passive listening to active participation, ensuring real engagement, deeper learning, and immediate impact. Because the approach is focused, it's easier to schedule time-wise, even for the busiest of teams. And the results on the investment is much higher because the learning doesn't stay confined to a single session. They take it back and coach their direct reports. Each participant becomes a real change agent, taking the leadership hacks, the techniques we add value for real solutions, back to their departments, actively involving their colleagues. We recognize and realize the untapped problem-solving power within your teams. By coaching the groups to bring their human capital experience together to tackle real-world challenges, we unlock collective expertise, ensuring that solutions and benefits are not just for individuals, but entire departments and, of course, the organization as a whole. This process cuts through the confusion, aligns priorities, and builds supportive cohorts that can navigate the complex, volatile, and uncertain realities in today's workplace. Because instead of isolated learning, teams gain ongoing support to tackle challenges together, ensuring long-term resilience and adaptability. It's not just training, is it? No, it's much more. It's a catalyst for motivational change, packed with energy, collaboration, and immediate real-world application. Our approach is 100% tailored to your organization's current challenges. ensuring that you're positioned for long-term success by integrating top-tier choices and ongoing support. We create a bespoke, tailored program that aligns with your strategic goals. And now is the perfect time to embrace this disruptive method, sparking these light bulb moments that drive real impact for your Vision 2030. For this future forward method, we only need a couple of days. Or do you know what? I've even done it in a couple of mornings, but more regularly, like 3 or 4 times a year. We can successfully do it online as well. It makes it easier for your HR teams to find a slot in the calendar that everybody could actually attend and focus and be present. It's so much less costly and the outcomes are actually visible. So it can be arranged a few times a year if required for multiple improvements. The return on investment is significantly magnified. The project involves the wider teams of each attendee as they take it back. This contemporary value-packed approach is full of happy energy and serves as a catalyst for motivational change. So just to showcase the power of this unique collaborative method, here's what a few of our previous clients have said. For anyone looking to elevate their leadership capabilities, I cannot recommend this program highly enough. It's a game changer. It not only enhanced my skill sets, but left me with a renewed confidence to lead my team to even greater success. This approach drives genuine engagement and enthusiasm because your staff aren't just attending, they're actively shaping the process. Picture this, a training system that guarantees a tangible return on investment with enthusiastic feedback every time. Here's some feedback. It's an amazing course and reflects the amount of research that's gone into it. I highly recommend this course for mid to top level leaders. The trainer is a spark of energy and a constant source of inspiration. Now, imagine every session come alive with energy where conversation flows and ideas spark and engagement is at its peak. Think about the peace of mind you'll gain knowing you've made the right choice without months of deliberation or concerns about feedback. Think back to the past year of training. Did it make the impact you'd hoped for? Was the feedback truly meaningful? Was the return on investment visible and measurable? Now imagine stepping out of that uncertainty into a clear, result-driven approach that transforms the way your teams learn and perform. Because you're at a crossroads. This is your turning point. It's a moment where you can leave behind ineffectual methods and embrace a proven, future-proofed, future-focused way of working. And the choice is yours. Will you move forwards? Will you continue down that same well-worn path, one that leads to low excitement, minimal engagement, little recognition for the HR team, and little or no visible return on investment? Or will you take a step towards a brighter, more impactful way of working, one that energizes your teams, drives real change, and delivers measurable results? If this resonates with you, you're still here, let's talk. I'd love to offer you the opportunity of a personal call to explore how we can make this approach work for you. So go ahead, book your call now, fill in the brief form on the next page, and here's what we'll cover when we connect. We're going to discuss your company's unique situation, confidentially, past training efforts, and the outcomes you've experienced. We're going to identify the roadblocks and whether it's low engagement, limited recognition, or the challenge of proving a real return on investment. And more importantly, we'll explore how this fresh, agile approach can transform your training strategy and deliver measurable impact. Here's some more feedback from previous participants. We're delighted that somebody as hugely experienced and qualified has been able to support us as we grow into a global organization. It's amazing how the course quality and the coaching experience took us to another level. Let's find the best way forward together. Book your call now. We'll uncover why past training hasn't delivered the feedback and impact you were hoping for. Why haven't actionable outcomes been brought back to the departments? What's been missing? So together we'll explore how you can fast-track strategic objectives by building tighter, high-performing teams. Can you imagine your staff returning to their departments, actively discussing training insights and applying these new techniques to navigate fast-paced futures with confidence? Mentors, if you like. Let's turn training into real transformation, so book your call now. If it seems like a good fit, I'll share how I can support you in making this transformation a reality. We'll focus on the immediate needs of today and explore how follow-up individual coaching through a structured project can drive real, lasting change. Because this isn't just about training, it's about implementing positive, forward-thinking solutions, isn't it, that create real, measurable impact. Let's start the conversation and turn training into a real transformation. So book your call today. I talked about our participants and how they've worked out before, and we get amazing results with the way we've been working this last few years. Here's a couple more. A great new way of teaching, very helpful and understanding, provides us with confidence and gives us the ability to create and think freely, respects the students and understands our local environment. Can you see how they use the word teaching there? So we're not teaching, we're facilitating, but it's a difficult thing for them to get their head round because they come in the room expecting us to teach. We're not teaching. I don't even call us mentors. We're more like coaches and respecting the collaborative intelligence that's in the room. Here's another one. Seamlessly combines profound expertise with a dynamic training style, engaging and empowering participants. Created a safe and healthy environment to allow the space for us to communicate our opinions and thoughts without any judgment. In addition to our unique collaborative learning approach, every participant could also earn a prestigious Harvard University certificate. Can you imagine the sense of pride your staff would feel, the gratitude they'll have for you and your team for providing them with such a really valuable opportunity? What's not to love? Let's make this thing happen. Now, I'm going to state now, this is not a sales call. Our first conversation is simply about exploring whether I can genuinely support you, your team, your company. I only collaborate with organizations where I know I can make a real lasting impact. Because a strong, trusted partnership leads to the best results. And I find that being honest and honestly selective helps build a trusting and effective partnership. So we'll begin by doing our homework, our due diligence, creating a tailored plan to understand you, your expectations, your company's values and Vision 2030 objectives. So together, we'll identify key challenges and uncover how I can bring real value to your team and organization. So this first call is just a confidential chat, all about your company's needs and how training has been approached in the past, what happened last year, and where we might be able to improve. So from there, we'll take the time to decide if your department and I are a good fit moving forwards. Because I believe this is a more genuine and honest approach. If it feels like a good fit, we can reconnect and explore the potential for working together as a trusted team. Now, I'm about to share the link for the call. Keep an eye on the chat. It'll be coming your way shortly. Now, I must apologize in advance. If you find there are no available slots on the calendar for this year because of high demand and a packed schedule, availability is limited. If you don't see a slot that fits your schedule for a call, I sincerely apologize. It simply means our calendar is fully booked on that day. To be completely honest, if you're serious about adopting this new way of working, then this call is one of the most valuable steps you can take right now. Once you book, you'll be directed to a page with a brief form to fill out. It only takes a couple of minutes. This form helps me to get to know you and understand any challenges you're facing before our call. And that allows me to do some research and come prepared, ensuring we make the most of our time together. You will get the most value from the call because I'll already have insights into your company's needs. Now, if the form isn't completed, I'll have to cancel the call. I will offer the slot to someone who has filled it out. This is your final opportunity. Before we wrap up, you have two choices: continue on your own or book a call with me so we can explore your company's training needs together. Book a call with me now. I hope you found this training valuable, and I'm excited to explore more with you. To wrap up, here's a final testimonial from one of our clients who experienced firsthand the tangible impact of this approach.